So my intention for today is to climb up Quarry Hill. So this is the regrowth from the ferns after the fire they had here a couple of weeks ago. So Quarry Hill is there behind it. So we'll see how the landscape has changed somewhat. But as you can see, the regeneration of the bush after the fire. There's a lovely bird song from this bird here, and I'm hoping it sings again. It's fine away. But there are other birds in the distance, as you can hear. So there is the burnt Quarry Hill in comparison to Stevens Peak, which remains green and lush. So we'll head up there and see how we go. You could see some green coming up again. So here, this signpost is the key to getting to Quarry Hill. So to the left of it is the trail to Wreck Beach, and to the right is to Quarry Hill. So it's a bit savage in that sense, but you can see there's a bit of a trail there. And I'm just hoping I make enough noise so the snakes slither away, I suppose, because there are snakes in this area, and being midday. I mean, the good thing about, I suppose, the fire, or you could argue if it's a good thing or not, is that it has cleared the bush undergrowth, which had made trekking to Quarry Hill a bit of a challenge. So lots of casuarinas, I think. The spindly pine, but you can see some greenery. And up we go. So the grass skirts love the fire. As you can see, they are thriving in it. Should do some cleanup here one day. But yes, the grass skirts are here, growing again. Look at this pretty grass skirt. I hope it continues to grow. But there is just Stevens Peak through the clearing. So it's amazing how much or how many grass skirts there are on this hill. Reminds me a bit of Queensland, but you couldn't really see them. And look, there is Shoal Bay proper in the distance, so you've got wonderful views up here. And there is at the Pacific Ocean, the turquoise waters at the moment, so clean up here. But yeah, I'm just fascinated by grass skirts. They're one of the oldest, I suppose, natural living things that have survived from the Jurassic era. I can still smell this, well, you can smell the ash, but look, it's just a hillside full of grass skirts. It's fascinating. I've never seen so many grass skirts. I mean, they were always here before, but the fire has cleared plants so you could actually see them. Maybe they should call this the grassy hill, so instead of Quarry Hill, because it definitely reminds me some of my journey to the Queensland border, where you just have so many grass skirts growing on the underside of a hill. But look, this is fascinating. I don't know what plant this is, but clearly it's thriving in the wake of the bushfire. Oh, this is amazing. There's this grass skirt and its flowering stem has been burnt, but look how tall its stem is. So there were many indigenous uses for grass skirt and their stems. They're quite attractive to birds, but even from here, so there's Stevens Peak and there is Wreck Beach in the distance, but even just halfway through the hike, well, not even halfway, I reckon, just probably a quarter way. So the hills up there, it's just amazing. Just fascinated by the panorama here. Oh, and Banksias. So they're opening up, releasing their seeds because of the fire. So it's just fascinating what kind of native flora tend to flourish in the wake of a bushfire. So, well, families of grass skirts. Definitely, we can still smell the ash, but the trail is still visible to see here. This was always a struggle going up. Well, not as bad as, say, Stevens Peak. Now, that is a challenging hill or mountain to climb just because there's so much vegetation and undergrowth. But look, I find this hill, even though it's challenging because it is out of the way and it is not as civilized as, say, Tomaree Headland, but it is, I think, a nice climb regardless, just because the views are amazing up here. And I've used photos from this hill as the cover photo for my Support Stevens book, just because it deserves that prominence. But it is amazing from here to down there, the clearance that has resulted. So the swells are up and about. You can see the waves crashing against the northern end of Yakaba over there. Nobody's swimming at Wreck Beach, which isn't surprising because the weather has not been so agreeable this past week. It's low tide again. But yeah, this is one of the few deserted beaches here at Port Stevens. It's not so clear, but you can see Broken Island there. And then, yes, the waves crashing against the shore. But up we go. And the higher we get, I suppose the easier the climb. Just because you can see the trail more clearly. I think it's a natural trail done. So I finally got a walking stick. There are flies out and about. Oh, there's a boat out just around Shoal Bay. That's nice. It's coming around Nelson Head. It's a beautiful day for a sail, as long as the wind's behind you, I suppose. So the climb up this hill is not as long as Tomaree because Quarry Hill isn't as high. Oh, there's a little lizard. Hello there. But it is rocky, and this is where the grass skirts thrive. I'm going to call it Grass Skirt Hill from now on instead of Quarry Hill. It is a mixture of being a quarry, being so rocky, but amidst the rockiness you do have all this native vegetation that only reveals itself after a fire. So as you can see, the views are amazing. That's why I do like taking this trail, going up this hill. Underrated, but probably it's a good thing. And you can now hear the roar of the waves as we go up, just because being on this side, Wreck Beach has a natural echoing effect, really. So I might just put the camera towards the beach instead of the rocky hill, because there isn't much in terms of difference in the vegetation. There has been some rain here, and this is a nice rocky outcrop that one usually stops by. So there has been rain, and there's a natural creek, I guess, natural little stream that is being formed as a result. But up here you can see the headlands that made James Cook write it down in his diary, just the entrance to Port Stephens. It is a fascinating landscape when you see it, especially if you're on the water. Just these series of hills, mountains hugging the shoreline. So some big rocks here. Perhaps the better aspect is around here as well. There you go. It's gorgeous. Nobody else is on the trail, so that trail forms part of the Tomaree Coastal Walk that takes you down to Fingal from Shoal Bay. So you start off at Tomaree Headlands. Zenith Beach, which you can't see, is tucked underneath there, and then you go southwards and you take this trail, and that will take you to Fingal. And obviously if you want a detour, you can take a detour here down to Wreck Beach, or as in my case, you go up to Quarry Hill, or Grassy Hill, Grass Skirt Hill. Lots of broken bottles that have been revealed as a result of the fire. Now this is where it gets interesting, because the trail is somewhat lost. But I think I'll take a break. Hey, it's been 12 minutes since I started filming. So 12 minutes of an easy hike reveals this view. So it's great, isn't it? It's a gorgeous panorama of Port Stephens. I can never get tired of it. You have the turquoise waters showing how clean and clear it is. There's an eagle flying in the distance. So I just took a bit of a break before I continue my walk. Let's see if we can aim for the apex or the summit of the hill. Again, as I said, there's a lot of broken bottles around as a result, but this is such a gorgeous view. Gorgeous view of the coastal beaches of Shoal Bay. Well, at least one coastal beach of Shoal Bay. It's lovely. Love it. Oh, and this is here, just a bit of a detour here, is where memorials have been placed for some of the fallen comrades of some of the motorbike gangs here. So this is Bandito's country, I suppose. Monster Pardo, and I think there's a new one to Carbs. As we look above, keeping your memory alive and strong, etched in our hearts where you belong. That's nice. And Snotty. So you can see the landscape has changed from the brown where the fire was to the green. And here we continue up the hill. Let's go find, well, let's make the trail there. Gorgeous. Anyway, let's keep on continuing up. I think we'll go up here. So the fire is actually making this hill an easier climb than normal. So because there's no vegetation or undergrowth vegetation that tends to be an obstacle when climbing. So it's quite nice. I keep looking towards the beach because it is so lovely to look at. Just the constancy of the waves as they hit the shoreline is very human. Appeals to the fundamental core in us. This is an interesting bush. It has survived, and so I'm just climbing the rocks like a goat. 3 points of contact, as they say, in case one slips off the hill, because you can imagine how difficult it is to get the emergency services up here. And who would want to rescue anyone on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon? So I think we are nearing the summit here. So it doesn't hug the eastern end. And here's another bush that has thrived in the fire. Yeah. So unlike, say, Stephen's Speak and Tonley, there is some sort of sign that you have reached the summit, but here you don't. But now you can now see Jimmy's Beach and Bennett's Beach towards Mungo National Park, in between the two mountains. So, and there is what they say, what they call it, Nelson Cliffs, which hides Little Wreck Beach. This is where you can see the better views. And I do think we have reached the summit. So the summit isn't really marked or signaled, or I think that's another hill to climb, a smaller hill to climb, so maybe that is the true summit. But here I am looking southwards now, and you can see, if I can zoom in a bit, there is Fingal Island in the distance. So you do get a nice 360-degree view of the coastal beaches here. And that strip of sand is called fly roads. So during mullet season, there's a lot of fishermen with their four-wheel drives that go to the beach and catch the mullet as they I suppose as they swim through that narrow channel or the spit there. Let's see if I can go towards that little hill there, which I think is higher than the hill I am on. So this was my little hill, and let's go to the other hill. So last time I was here, there wasn't eagles' nests up. The fact that there are no eagles probably suggests that they have decamped elsewhere. So just a lot of shrubs that tend to hit the lower part of your body. Another little grass skirt here. The echo tends to resonate up here a bit more because you are higher on a hill, and there is a bit of an amphitheatre effect. So noises from the ground tend to reach upwards, and so it's rocky, as you can see. And I think we'll be able to climb, and there we go. There is Fingal Lighthouse there. It's a shame that somebody burnt down the cottages there, because I think the national parks could have made a killing, or at least made Fingal Island a worthwhile destination, like say at Seal Rock's Lighthouse, if the accommodation there was rebuilt again. There's a light plane hovering above the lighthouse, because like such structures from the 19th century, they use the building materials available within the vicinity. So these were sandstone buildings. So here, looking southwards, you could see the panorama of Fingal Island, and let's keep on going. We're near the summit now. So an easy 15 to 20 minute walk. If you were racing this hill, you'd do it quicker than I did, or than I have. But this is a nice view of the spit, the southern rocks of Locks Beach. See that strip of sand there, which I absolutely love. And it is windy as being in the summit. Yeah, so I love that strip of sand where you can actually snorkel around the rocks there. And there is Fingal Spit, which has disappeared. So you've got wonderful views up from this hill. So keep on going, and I'll do a nice panoramic shot. Maybe that's the summit. Some cairns there. So this is the panorama of Quarry Hill, from Quarry Hill. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, I keep saying, isn't it? But for those of you watching this and feel like climbing Port Stephens, this is quite the hidden spot away from the tourists and the crowds. So there is the cairn, and it is windy. My apologies if you're listening to this. And there are some trees and shrubs there. And just because it's windy, I think I will end it now. So this is my hike to Quarry Hill, or Grassy Skirt Hill.